How you doing, Scotty Bear? Back, your host for today's podcast with High Stakes Danny, a very popular guest on my vlogs, mostly in the video poker videos. I was able to get High Stakes Danny to come to the Philippines with me. He is a retired municipal worker. And again, like I said, very popular on my channel. His videos that he is in and is talking holds the top 3 out of 4 spots on my YouTube channel. I've gotten quite a few requests to get Danny back on the show. I've been trying to get him back on the show, honestly. Today we're going to talk about Keno, gambling, living in Las Vegas, retirement. I think he's been retired now about 6 months. We're going to see how that's going. Inflation, what he thinks of living here in the Philippines. Danny's scheduled to go home in November. He purchased a ticket out of a little bit of fear for the prices and what they might do, and how this is affecting him. And we're just going to see what Danny thinks, because Danny is as best if we can get a natural reaction out of him. Like I said, I have a lot of great conversations with Danny. He's a very interesting person, and apparently you guys think so too. So I am going to pause this and try to get Danny on the phone here in the Philippines.
Hello?
Is this High Stakes Danny?
Hey, what's up? Hold on, let me get these earbuds in.
Okay.
Terrible.
All right. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, cool.
You're in?
What's up?
Not a lot. How are you?
I'm good. What's happening?
Oh,
How's everything by you?
it's pretty good, pretty good. The internet has been not so wonderful, but other than that, I've been getting by.
What day is it? Like 106 days, I think, I've been here now?
I think it's a hundred, closer to 110, because at my birthday it would be 120, and my birthday here is about 10, 12 days away, maybe. So maybe it's closer to 110, 109, 108, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? How's the new place?
I like the new place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally found I got out of that Airbnb stuff. Man, that's good stuff.
So
What's that sound? Do you hear that?
I have a very tough signal with you. I don't have you're kind of echoey and sound far away from the microphone.
All right. Well, I'm hearing something too in there, but let me move around a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, that might help it. I'm hearing like some sort of crash.
Crash?
Hold on, let me turn off the. Yeah, like a.
Oh, maybe that's your cheap earbuds or bud thingies.
It could be, man. Hey, it could be.
Yeah. You sound a little better right there.
Okay. Yeah, let's try this.
Yeah, less echoey, and you sound pretty good right there.
Oh, let's try this.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
So, like I said, 107 days here in the Philippines. You're on a 6-month visa that you said you paid $300 for?
Yeah, it was something like 13,000 pesos, and it went all the way to November 26th.
All right, so that's let's see, $200 and maybe $50 for, you said November 26th?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Is your car registration expired yet?
Car registration. Interesting. I don't pay pay too much attention to that one because I usually get hit with fees anyways when I go to re-register it instead of like a thing. But I usually cover that with some gambling wins. I never really sweat that, so I never really pay attention to that, even though that probably is coming up. It's a really good question.
How about your car insurance?
No, that's on a steady tap.
Oh, okay, so it's automatically withdrawn.
On a steady, yeah. There's a few things on a steady tap that I was talking with June about, actually, about what I'm doing with a lot of that stuff. But it doesn't really matter.
Do you
scheme of whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Do you know how much your expenses are in Las Vegas without you being there?
You tell me on the spot here. Honestly, no.
No.
I do a lot of this budgeting stuff in my head.
Ah.
So I know it's not exactly great, you know.
Oh, did I lose him? Are you there? Holy shit. All right. Oh, baby. Holy crap, kid. I'm out of loads. Hold on. Time out. We're going to get Danny back. Yeah, that's a much better connection. All right. So yellow,
I was saying how it's not green, it's probably yellow, and I know it's not red. I don't know how that, or orange, orange to red. You know how they do that, where you have with the air quality, it goes from green to red.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere like yellowish. It's not really. It's just I haven't sat down with anything and wrote it down, so I don't know. I kind of don't want to know.
Really? So you don't really.
I don't want to know.
You don't really want to know your expenses, so you can kind of get an idea how much you can spend.
No, because I think it'll create a little too much anxiety.
Wow. Okay.
I don't want to know. I'm doing okay. The way it's been going out here, everything has been going okay.
So,
it's okay.
So that being said, okay, so this is my question. Now, you haven't, also on top of being here 107 days, this is probably the longest you have gone since you've been in Vegas without gambling. Is that a correct statement?
This is an interesting time period. This is the longest I've ever gone since I was 21 and I hit my first 4 of a kind. I was on, I want to tell you the exact spot because it's changed hands a bunch of times. I was on Rainbow, just north of the 95. And there's a Starbucks out there right now. And right across the street, there's this really dusty old, smelly-ass bar. And I remember that was my first 4 of a kind. And then I hit another one down in Green Valley on the corner of Green Valley Parkway and Sunset. And there was another 4 aces with a kickie for like $500 each time, right?
Wow.
So I guess for a 21-year-old, that $500, that had an impression. Because I kept hitting them, right? And I kept like coming out. I had like 4 or 5 of those 4 aces with a kicker. And I guess, you could say I was hooked. Yeah, so I didn't go 107 days ever since I've been 21. That's interesting. I wouldn't even say I'm addicted to it either. But it certainly feels like it's a possibility.
Well,
you can go round and round and talk about mental health all day long, and I don't even know if any of that stuff is even real.
Well, you haven't.
It's just something I like to do, right? I mean, are you hooked on coffee?
Oh, definitely.
It's kind of the same thing, right?
Oh, definitely. But let me interject something into that. You said you weren't addicted, and actually I believe that. But let me interject something that the viewers may not know.
Okay, go.
I
got something. I hope I remember it.
Okay, so there is gambling in the Philippines, and you could go to a casino in 10 minutes. Is that not correct?
I could find gambling out here in Manila. I don't think where I'm at you can find gambling. Well, not in the sense that we know gambling.
I think there's a Filipino casino or Casino Filipino near you.
Possibly. I haven't looked into it.
Okay.
But I'm sure if I was addicted as much as everybody says, I'd be in the casino right now, but I'm not. But there was a time in Vegas where I know for sure that I was addicted. and maybe even, of course, in the sense of how everybody colloquially uses that term, right?
Yeah.
That's all you can think about is addicted, you know, and you don't buy new clothes, you don't buy stuff for yourself, spend time with friends and family, you just spend at the casino. There's been times like that lasted way too longer than I care to admit online right now.
So let me interject one more thing.
But not anymore. Not anymore.
So let me interject one more thing for our viewers here. I also personally do not believe in gambling addiction, as you know. I think it's a ridiculous concept. I think it's just purely a greed thing. I think people just get sucked in, kind of like what you said. How often are you 21 winning $500 a pop? You just feel on top of the world.
Yeah, but there's a point though that, like I said, my previous statement, not to repeat myself. Definitely, if clinically somebody would have said that I need severe help and medication from it. So I don't know. Was I really addicted, or was I just being an asshole?
Mm-hmm.
Was I just being somebody who, like, selfishly just wanted to ruin myself, or was I specifically mentally ill? I don't know what the answer to that is, because I feel fine today. I don't feel like I need to run to the casino. I definitely enjoy talking about gambling and Keno in particular. I love Keno. I think I still love Keno. I still want to go play it. I don't know if that makes me addicted to it. I don't know why I love it. It has to do with numbers. I like numbers a lot.
Yeah.
I do a lot of the budgeting in my head, and I've gone this far, and it's perfectly okay. Now, I'm sure there's some fluff and some waste, but there's fluff and waste in anything, I think.
Yeah.
At least from what I've, you know, and I don't have to count every peso out here. I don't, you know, I should probably, but I just don't. I'm not one of those guys. My brother is an accountant.
Okay.
And, we're polar opposites. So he counts every dime and penny and bean, and I don't do that. I don't live life like that. I do kind of in my head, and I know, like I told you with the colors, I kind of do it like colors. I know when things have to slow down. And then I know when I could, you know, speed up and be like, yeah, let's blow through like, you know, $400 right now, you know?
Yeah.
Or when we were hanging, it was like, I know when I could drop 2K and be like, all right, this is going to suck, but let's drop the 2K and then I'll just like do nothing for 20 days or something. That's more or less how I've done it. And I don't know, man, I'm still standing, I'm fine, I'm out here, and I'm still here. So
do you said from this, you said that you've saved some money and you've paid some bills. So obviously you're not going through your monthly retirement. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens to be more than enough, where I kind of calculated out that I really needed to get to a spot where I'm not blowing as much money as I was in Vegas. That's for sure.
Especially being in retirement, right? You're on a fixed income, all that stuff, right?
I'm on a fixed income. I refuse to go back to work because I'm stubborn, although I probably should because I'm, you know, we talked about that. I don't know what to do about that. But I don't know, man. I mean, this is why I worked so hard, was to be able to do, like, you know, what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
If that means sitting down on the couch all day, well, then that's what I wanted to do that day. Not having a boss is amazing.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah.
You're your own boss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to listen to anybody. And, you know, that is, I mean, as far as being a human, that's really big on my list of things to do with my life, is not have to listen to anybody or, you know, have a boss.
Yeah. Well, you just the other night, you're like, oh, I'm thinking I'm going to go back to work and work with kids and stuff.
I thought that for a few minutes for sure, and I shared that with you. And I did do a quick Google search on something. The reason behind that, okay, you want to explore that. That thought came because, you know, frankly, I think, you know, I do miss being in the United States to some extent. And so that thought came about where, like, what can I do back there? What am I trained for? All this kind of crap, right? And then in the course of doing that, within 30 minutes, man, let me tell you, I remember all the shit I had to go through, and all that shit went out the window.
Wow.
And I started remembering all the memories about, you know, working with the kids and how crappy my department was, and all of that, the politics and the garbage employees and the garbage clients, and nobody wants to listen or educate themselves, and everybody wants to fight, be violent, right?
Yeah.
Which is not my thing, man. I'm not a violent person, although I can be, but that's not my thing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go back into that population and have to deal with the violence again. And then, of course, the pop culture in the United States, as you know from being away from it, right? There's a definite culture out there, and it's not anything that I really appreciate.
Yeah. So
besides the freedom, right? I mean, the alleged freedom.
So do you feel like now, I mean, we've talked to you a little bit before, but do you feel like now that your future is in the United States, or do you feel like more of your future is here?
Man, that's on the spot. I can't even answer that question. My answer is I don't know. I know I can't really go back to the way I was living.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing that what I was doing there was really even. I mean, you said it yourself. There's really, I just can't go back to doing what I was doing, which was kind of, going to the. I mean, even though it was fun, the casino has its place, but I don't really need to be there every damn day.
Yeah.
Or every other day, or every fourth day, or every time I get bored, right? But I do miss, the band idea, starting the band, and maybe doing a little bit more music stuff is kind of could be in my future. So.
Do you think next time you're going to bring a guitar?
Say one more time, you cut out.
I said next time you come to the Philippines or travel, do you feel like you're going to bring a guitar?
No, I bought one out here for 18,000 pesos.
A
little Takamine, yeah. 4-size travel.
Are you going to bring it home with you? No. So it's completely just something you purchase.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot I don't know. That's the thing. I just don't know. Well, I want to be as honest and truthful here. Apparently, there's a lot of speculation.
Yeah, well, I mean,
whether or not I'm actually a drunk. I was thinking to myself the other day, like, how bad am I a drunk? Like, if I was just let loose on the Keno scene again in Vegas, like, how long would I be just completely drunk every day? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I am a drunk. I mean, I find that, when you're playing Keno, having a couple beers, man, it goes hand in hand. And whether or not I know how to play the game, as anybody guess, it's, you're either completely mentally insane for thinking you can beat the computer, or you actually figured something out, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's random. Mm-hmm. I think it has to do with, the amount of money that you put in, and then also, where the machine is on the when it's going to pay out again.
Yeah.
You can get a sense of that. If you play machine, you can get a sense of where the machine is on its cycle. And maybe the cycle is random, but there's really nothing random about getting 4 of a kind with a kicker dealt to you like 4 times. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. I don't buy the whole statistically, it'll happen long enough if you just sit there. I just really don't buy any of that narrative that is taught to me by the people who are in power that they make the machines and work on the machines. And, I was at a party once with a guy who did R&D for IGT, and I said, come on, give me something, man. Just give me something that I could work with. Give me one tip, or anything. I know you can't say everything, but, and the guy said, he said to me, make sure you're playing max bet. And I said, that's it? That's all you can say? And I said, well, there you go. You proved to me that it's not random. If you could say that, make sure you have max bet in there, then something about having max bet is doing something in there, right, to change some sort of the odds. So I was just like, that it's not random then. If you could say anything about it. Because from my perspective, if you're an R&D guy and it's completely random, and somebody asks you for advice, you'd say, no, man, it's entirely random. That would be my statement. It's entirely random and I have no info. Instead of make sure you have max bets in, right? That's my logic. Okay.
So what's Danny do the second he lands in the United States?
There's some Keno.
Oh yeah, you're off the airplane.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
show me the Keno room, please?
Yeah, no, not at the airport, man. No.
Well, I'm not obviously not at the airport, but I mean, boom, you land.
I'll get stuck in there. I'll get stuck in the airport.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, you land. You get your bags. You walk out the door. Actually, you're supposed to land in Los Angeles. Is that correct?
Yeah, I go to LA, and then my brother's gonna reunite with my brother, and we're gonna road trip it to LV and have a conversation because I don't really talk to him, which is depressing and sad.
Oh, really? You feel like you're tight with your brother?
I feel like somebody could answer my phone calls or talk to me. Maybe even answer an email. The communication can't be one way all the time.
So he's punishing you. Got it.
Right?
Well, I haven't talked to my brother in 31 years, so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole family thing is like you can reach out as much as you can, but if you're not, you can't force somebody to talk to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't control anybody else's actions. So, I mean, you have chance, choice in the actions of others. He's choosing not to respond to my choice to respond to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you feel like he's exacting some sort of punishment on you?
Maybe. I don't know. That's weird family history crap. I really don't.
I think he's jealous of you.
Close growing up. But I mean, the thing about family is, there's some members of like I always say, my aunt and uncle, if there is a hell, at least deserve a year in hell. I mean, not an infinite amount of time, but there are people out there that, they need to spend a few minutes in hell for what they've done out here.
Oh yeah.
If it's real. And it's just so fascinating when you start to talk about the ridiculous ideas inside of a religion. So because I don't, I have to spend an eternity in hell for a finite crime out here, and the crime I committed is not believing in some crazy stories. I mean, come on now. There are people that chop people's heads off and they get to go to heaven. Come on. I mean, let's be real about what we talk about. So anyways, yeah. So I don't know how I got on that crazy idea, but because my aunt and uncle, family members, right? So you can't really choose your family, but there's some members of your family that are just toxic.
Yeah.
He's not one of them. He's not a toxic family member by far. He's just a silent family member, and I'd like to talk to I miss my brother. I love my brother. I want to talk to him.
No.
That's it. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and talking with him on the way to Vegas. When I get into Vegas, to answer your question, I got to hightail it to my condo because I need to know I have interest in Vegas, monetary interest, property. I have to figure out, okay, how is the property? What's the deal with it? What's the AC unit looking like? How much dust is on everything? And I have to clear it out because I've kind of decided it needs to be rented by somebody. Like I need to get back into that game, I think. So I don't think I can live in Vegas, so I mean, El Paso, you've talked a lot about that. That's still on my list of places to go and maybe even check out, But there's a lot of places and things I want to do and see, so I can't even answer that question.
Gotcha.
Maybe I don't want to see them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get there and say, man, I got to get back to the Philippines because I loved it out there. So I have no clue what future me is going to say. But I do know that I need to find out what's going on with that condo, and I need to go play some Keno. Because I would like to chunky change. I would like to send some money out here.
Okay.
That's on the goal. That's on the list of things to do is to send some money out here, which would be a really cool thing to do if I'm able to do it.
You know what happened to me when I came back from Asia, right?
No.
Okay, so I come back from Asia. I'm in Washington. It's within the last, it was like, I don't know, 3 days-ish, okay? I was like, really, what the fuck just happened? Okay, that was the big deal for me. I was like, what in the fuck just happened? And then I was like, why did I leave that place? That was the reaction I got. And then I was back in Asia, and I knew you, that I was back in Asia within 90 days.
Right.
Actually...
There's so many positives about staying out here and living out here. There's so many comparisons and in contrast about America and being an American out here. I mean, the whole viewpoint and brainwash American society really starts to crumble the longer you're away from your home country. It's really bizarre. Like, I start questioning, like, all my ideas, all my thinking patterns, everything that I'm, like, you know, accustomed to thinking and believing, they're all under question. Which is an interesting thing for a brain, I think, to do, because most people can't recognize, you know, most people are very uncomfortable with that, right? When presented with new info, they don't want to accept any of it. But my brain doesn't do that. It kind of evaluates it and says, okay, I'll allow new information in. And this new information is blowing my mind, man. I mean, like, the world doesn't have to have a standard refrigerator. You mean you can have a smaller refrigerator? Just stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
But all across the board with everything.
Yeah.
Right? Across with everything. Like,
well, you have nothing in your refrigerator all the time.
Say again?
I said you have nothing in your refrigerator all the time.
Yeah, all the time. This big refrigerator, and it's just empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have nothing.
Yeah, and nothing. That's how I lost all that weight.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, what I find interesting is watching the United States from afar. You know what I mean? Like, watching what's going on and getting reports and friends sending me things and things and hearing other people's experiences and then going, what the fuck is going on there? You'd almost think the United States was imploding, like, as you watch.
Yeah, no, there's definitely that. And, you know, a lot of that also is the propaganda news cycle. But you see that pretty clearly, too, from being away from it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then the brainwashing that goes on just with spending and debt and credit cards and, you know, house buying and picking up with staying ahead of the Joneses or keeping up with the Joneses or whatever they say. Right? And just the concepts of credit cards. Just the concept of that, or the concept of health insurance.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's that, or the concept of the police state. Like, who's policing me? Right?
Yeah.
You know, how many times have you been out here and there's hardly any police whatsoever? And apparently, okay, how about this? How about no traffic lights? And, you know, the whole United States would implode if you took away all the traffic lights and signals, right?
Oh, yeah.
In the major cities. But Dumaghetti's got, like, 100,000 people. So, you know, so Pahrump, for instance, right, you have 30,000 people, and you've got tons of traffic lights in Pahrump. And you got 30,000, 40,000 people. You got 110,000 people out here, maybe 2 traffic lights, maybe 2 or 3, and not many. I haven't seen an accident yet. I know accidents happen all the time, but I haven't seen any.
I've seen a few.
Apparently nobody just, you might have seen 2. I haven't seen any, and that's saying something, though, because I did stay in my middle for a while. But the thing is that everybody is looking out for everybody else because no one wants to hit their car into a tree or another person, and it just somehow works.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that you can't have any stop signs, you can't have anything at intersection, and it still works, I would have told you, no way, you have to have traffic control signals.
Yeah.
And you just don't. You don't need them.
Yeah. Well, they also have mopeds, you know what I mean? So,
Plenty of cars too.
Yeah, but in the United States, there's people going 75, 80 miles an hour. That's almost unheard of out here.
And they would slow down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're talking about a different land area. I mean, we still have land to drive a car. So everybody would just slow down because, you know, it would be like Darwinism, right? You'd have a gazillion people just dead because they didn't slow down at intersections. And so they'd slow down like they do out here, just by nature.
Yeah, but the opposite is true. There is a zillion people dead from traffic accidents, and they speed up.
Probably. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I do have the gun figures in front of me, of course, because that's something that you and I talk about. And it's like 5 times less the amount of people that die from firearms out here.
Yeah, well, they check you everywhere you go. They check for weapons and bombs everywhere you go.
Right. But, I mean, not to get on that, but...
Yeah.
But, so there's a lot of differences, man. And there's a lot of positives. And, of course, you know, you just think differently, I think, the longer you've been out here.
Yeah.
Or maybe it gets uncomfortable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, I want to go to a casino and see if I could send money back here. It's my first goal, to see if I could do some magic and then, brighten somebody's day. That's the first thing. After that, I don't have that much on. I don't really know.
So
I have to get the condo ready. I have to throw out a bunch of shit. Okay, yeah, I got to throw out a bunch of shit. That's on the first on the list.
wow. So
yeah, a bunch of shit I don't need.
So let's jump topics a little bit. I turned you on to a condo in Manila to purchase, and you went to go see that, right?
Yeah, I did. I saw a few properties out there for purchase. Yeah.
And what was go ahead.
Knowing that would have to be in somebody else's name, I would still thought financially it was somewhat doable. So we did look at a few condos, and interestingly enough, they're just small and overpriced. And not just not up to the standard I wanted, and just a lot of weird, when you're making payments to a company, but you don't really know what's going on with this company, where the money is going. There's some shady, it just seems too shady right now. If you get in with MDC, I think that's the acronym. That's like huge companies out in the Philippines that make these condo units.
Yeah.
You can spend anywhere from 3.5 million pesos, which is kind of dumpy. Well, not dumpy, but real small, and older, to all the way up to 10 million, which is really nice with nice amenities and all that. But the companies, there's only 2 or 3 that I would even consider because they're huge and they have all these different properties, and they're reputable. So you're making payments to them. You're going to get the condo, but they made it real simple for a foreigner to buy it. You could actually put it in your name. I misspoke earlier.
Yeah.
If you wanted to buy land and a house, you have to somebody else's name. If you want to buy a condo, it could be in your name as an American, which is what I was going to do. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this condo. Because, it'll be in my name, and it'll be something that, which is cool, because it's 10 years. It's 10 years you make the payment. But again, my calculations came up to be like $1,800 USD. Putting that underneath my retirement put me in the orange, and I didn't want to be in orange. I'd rather be in the yellow or green. So I just nixed that idea, even though they wanted to say it was $1,300 USD. When you add all the stuff in, hidden costs, it balloons to about $1,800. And then, but that's after 10 years, and then it becomes yours. So there's a lot of advantages for someone with more money than myself, which there's tons and tons of American people. And I've been saying this since I got here, that they need to come out here and see what's going on if they have any sort of money, because I think it's a better spot for them and there's more opportunities for people with a lot of money like that. And those condos are reputable. You can get your name on a condo and then do whatever you want after 10 years. And that's kind of cool. A 5 years plan too, right? 5 years, you can be yours. That's huge.
Wow. So
I get excited about that. I really, really, really like the idea of owning a condo. That's like the number one thing I think. I really like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cool, and they're large enough. They're just super cool, and they're really nice. And it's like being in a upscale hotel, but you've got everything right there: kitchen, bathroom. The only bad thing, if there was a bad thing, is maybe you get noisy neighbor. I don't know. It was super quiet because they build these things out here like brick shit houses. I mean, just total concrete.
Yeah.
I mean, you could blast music and hardly hear your neighbor. So it's nothing like the quality of build you get in the United States. It's just night and day.
Yeah.
Out there, you're going to hear every little sound. Out here, you're going to hear it, but it depends upon if you're in a condo, you're not going to hear it. At least that's been my experience. We were in a Airbnb with house in walls, and you can hear everything the neighbors were doing.
Yeah.
And as much fun as that is, it's kind of like you try to one up your neighbors. I don't know. It's not. They play the music loudly. You got to play it even more loudly. So I don't really know how fun that is. But as far as owning a condo, there are places that I looked at more than 4. I think there was 4 in total, and then also hearing the sales pitch inside the mall, that too, and the ease of getting one, which is like a passport, some financial data, minimal, and then just cash money, right?
Yeah.
So So there you go, two forms of ID, and they were basically just being, they were reducing some of the requirements because they want to sell the units, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, from before the pandemic when I was here, and now, I mean, there's foreigners. You could see that foreigners are starting to kind of come in, but it's still like under 10% of what it was. I mean, it really, in Manila, it was like wall to wall foreigners. I mean, without a doubt, it was very competitive. I don't know when, some of the prices you said you were paying and stuff. And I mean, it was getting, back when I was here before, expensive was like 700, 800. That was expensive. Now it's like, I see a lot of properties and stuff. They're trying to rent them for 1,000, 1,200, 1,500. I'm like, who's renting this?
For sure.
Yeah, because no one's here.
I saw 3,000.
Yeah.
I said, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy, there was a place, the Gramercy, which is a very popular place in Manila for foreigners to come. My buddy was renting a 70th floor condo for like $650 a month. Now they're trying to get over 1,000. I'm like, nah. So,
right.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing.
Yeah.
So getting a condo would be, again, back to that. You could rent for 1,000 or 1,100, or you can own after 10 years for 1,800.
Yeah.
Or 1,900, right? So you're spending more, but you're going to be, and they don't talk about too. There's like it's not as big, but it's something other. It's like an amenity fee, which they tack on.
Yeah.
So they never really talk about that, but that's like $300 or $400 that they tack on to your mortgage, a quote unquote mortgage, because you're paying a company. I don't think you're paying a bank. And then they do it differently. Some of them don't allow you to take possession until 3 years, so you're paying on something while you're paying rent.
Yeah.
Right. But the cool thing is that you're going to own it at some point. But that didn't sit well with me either, not being able to have the keys, but I'm paying on it per month. I mean, so all different kinds of options. Bobby.
Yeah, because the main reason they're doing that is these companies are financing the building rather than, in the United States, they go to a bank and get $1 billion in funding to build one of these hotels or whatever in Vegas. And they do that. And here it doesn't exist like that. So they get, occupancy, and then they probably go to the bank for the remainder amount. And so they get going, well, we already at, 30% occupancy when it goes up. So the bank goes, okay, so we're interested. Where in the United States, you just show them the plans and stuff, and you got these investors, and it goes on the back of that. And then, if just like the Fontainebleau going broke, I can imagine all the, the times these projects go broke, but they got, with real estate and real estate and condos and these type of things don't have the same appreciation as, say, in the United States because of the way it's structured and these, these bubbles and stuff that the United States lands into. That's probably why most of the Philippines has kind of done better during the pandemic than the United States. I feel like the economy is much better here than it is the United States.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak intelligently on that, but I just know that they have tons of options for people who are looking to buy the condos, and made it super simple and easy for me as long as I've had the cash per month to prove, right, that I'm getting a retirement or whatever it is. So there's a lot to be excited about there, but I chose against it. Ended up out here in the province. And this little apartment here, which is really affordable, something like $260 a month, which is very affordable, and it's really nice. It's got everything. It's even better than some of the apartments I've had in the States. So
yeah. So let's talk about this, and then I'll let you go because I'm running kind of long here. So. You purchased a ticket kind of early for your exit. Do you regret that, or you feel good with that?
I'm still good with that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk again in a month or two, but yeah. still good on that.
So you purchased it because you're worried that the prices would go up a lot,
Yeah,
right? Mm-hmm.
I do. I do think the price is going to go up, and I did get an alert that it went up 300 on the ticket. You know, Google Flights told me to go ahead and put an alert. You showed me all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I got some emails. You know, your price of the ticket has fluctuated, and this is this is that, and yeah, it was $300 more. But again, November's a long way away.
Yeah.
So who knows, it'll go back down. But I'm still good on, you know, there was that scare there with all that the missing phone debacle. That created a kind of a problem, but that solved that issue.
So, you know, the thing is Air Asia has started flying and different carriers, discount carriers, like, you know, in the United States, I got like, you know, Frontier, JetBlue, all these, you know, bottom feeder carriers. You know, the Chinese carriers have started to fly again into Hong Kong and different connected areas. These are generally the cheaper flights, and what keeps the, you know, the flying international, you know, reasonably priced. Of course, you know, frequency on routes and different things. I wonder how that's going to affect the price, you know, whenever I fly or whatever happens. But these are where you get the real deals when it comes to flying to Asia, is the discount carriers. Cause I mean, I flew over to Manila on my first time for $340. I mean,
right.
the very first time.
Crazy.
It wasn't a, you know, yeah, it was a layover, but a 20-hour layover, but it was still like $350. Yeah, I mean, you can hardly fly to Oklahoma for $300. So.
Yeah, you are the king of finding deals. I haven't really met too many people in my lifetime that find these very strange deals where, you know, I used to call my buddy $20 because everything's $20, you know. Oh, it's just $20. This is $20. And, you know, it's like, I could never find anything for $20, but this guy, everything's $20. But, so yeah, you are the king of finding deals. That's for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a reality fact. And me, I'm more like, 20-hour layover? No way, man. I'll spend an extra $200. And, you know, put it on my card, because I'm not going to be sitting there for 20 hours. But then again, you know, money's money, right?
Well,
I mean, that's another $200 you can spend, you know, gambling.
Well,
bring that $20 up to $1,000.
Let me offer you this: when you're having traveled to China and they said you're going to lay over 20 hours in China, you think to yourself, "Hell, I haven't seen China." You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, I got it. No, I'm not talking smack.
No, I got you. But I mean, you think, how bad could it be, right?
Right.
So.
Interesting. Cool, man.
All right, amigo.
I'll chat with you soon.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you showing up.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll have the video posted. Hopefully the upstream will be good, and I'll talk to you later.
That's that. We'll talk soon.
All right, boy. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank God.
All right, that's it. High Stakes Danny stream is done. Hope this you enjoyed this live stream, and I'll see you on the next video.